right. So I am so excited about this mindset, motivation, and mastery. We did have some technical difficulties. Well, I think it's my internet. Krista and I have determined that this was my internet. So we didn't do it on our normal show platform, but we find a way. That's just how it works. We find a way, and we found a way because I'm super excited for our guest today. And it's Krista Mashore, and she is a author and a coach, and just recently released a new book. And we're going to talk a lot about that book today because I think it's obviously so relevant in today's market. The ultimate digital marketing playbook for dominating your local area, and especially with what's going on right now. So let me share just a little bit about Krista real quick. She's an author. She's founder of Krista Mashore Coaching. She was top 1% realtor nationwide for 17 years. She sold over 2,000 homes. This lady knows real estate. And the cool part is she knows digital marketing, and I'm excited to talk to her. So thanks for joining me today, Krista.
Thanks for having me, Jared. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's Mashore. It's Mashore, not Mashore. So just so you know how to say it.
Mashore. My apologies.
And people always spell it with a Y. It's M-A-S-H-O-R-E. Not a big deal.
Yeah, no, because when I spelled it a bunch of times on here, I had to go back and make sure I was spelling it right. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Mashore. All right. So listen, it's obviously digital marketing, especially in today's world, is such a relevant topic for real estate agents. I always say, like, right now, our job is to create visibility. Like, we've a lot of agents that when this whole COVID thing hit, and again, we talk about COVID, but I don't really care whether COVID hit or not. We should have been doing this, and the agents that were doing it are more relevant today than the agents that weren't. So if you're not doing it, like, creating this massive visibility for yourself, right? Becoming the mayor of your own little area when it comes to real estate. And why I wanted to chat with you today is you just released your new book, talking about the digital marketing, kind of platform and how an agent does that. So share with me a little bit about kind of the book, and kind of we'll jump then right into kind of what you see as an opportunity for an agent right now.
Yeah, so one thing I'll say is that, with COVID, we want to see sort of the silver lining. And the silver lining is that, we're agents, and any kind of local professional is being forced to market themselves online, right? And just like you said, I believe people should have been doing it for years and years and years. They continue to do open houses and cold call and door knock and do all these things because they were taught to do that for years. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's the most effective, efficient way to spend your time. So the good news is that COVID has, has made people and agents and professionals realize, man, I have to do something different. And so this book, the Ultimate Digital Marketing Playbook for Dominating Your Local Profession, we just hit bestseller, so we're happy about that. We hit bestseller in entrepreneurship and in small business, so that was good. And it just goes all about how to market yourself online, how to expose yourself to the masses. And you said it, in order to be known, you have to be seen, you have to be heard. So the whole entire book is basically teaching people how to have a digital footprint. So I call it digital domination. So that's what it goes into.
Awesome. So let's jump straight into that for an agent. So if I was an agent and I was looking at, getting out there, and like we're like really in my coaching right now, we're talking about 2021 and really putting together our marketing plans and business plans for 2021. Going into quarter four, it's kind of just where we are. So if I was sitting down right now, going over my marketing plan as a real estate agent and saying, okay, what do I need to do different, or how do I dominate my market or create better visibility? Like, what are the platforms? What do you recommend? Where does someone kind of get rolling? Like, just kind of guide me through that real quick.
Yeah. So one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make is that they'll start producing video and then they'll stop, right? So video content is so important. If you just research like 2020 stats about video, there'll be so many statistics about video and conversion rates and how the brain processes information. And, according to Forbes, 64% of people make up their buying decisions after seeing a video. And I can just go on and on for an hour about how helpful video is. But even more important than using video is properly distributing it, right? So I see so many people and they're doing videos and they always ask me, Krista, should I post it on my business page or my personal page? And I say, well, neither of them is really going to work. If you Because when you post on your business page or your personal page, the only people that are seeing you are your normal family and your normal friends, right? People that are already interacting with you. You need to pick a platform. So for example, I specialize in Facebook. So we teach people how to create video content, how to feel comfortable on video, how to create videos that actually work and people watch. But more importantly, we teach them how to get like hundreds of hours of watch time and how to get, I just had one of my students say, Krista, I had 156,000 engagements, meaning 156,000 people liked, commented, shared his video. He had 503 hours of watch time. He reached 225,000 people. And now he has an audience of over 225,000 people in his community that continue to see him over and over and over again. That's the key. The key is to producing content consistently. I call it the 8 C's. You need to commit to consistently producing content correctly, Jared, meaning the right kind of content at the right time in the right place so people actually see it. All those 3 are very important. If you can do that, you're going to make a connection with your community, so you're going to convert more clients and customers, right? Consistency is key. Correct distribution is key. The connection is key. All of that is so important. And when you do this consistently, you become the community market leader. You become the mayor of your town. Anytime anybody thinks about real estate or community, they think about you. Everywhere you go, you hear, I see you everywhere, right? And that's when you know that you're starting to make an impact, because the more that you can be seen, the more you're going to be known, the more you're going to be heard, the more leverage you're going to have. And when you have more leverage, you can make up in leverage what you lack in ability, what you lack in experience, what you lack in skill, right? When you're putting yourself in front of thousands of people on a regular basis and getting hundreds and hundreds of hours of watch time, you have more leverage.
Yep, absolutely. So then let's talk about watch time. How does somebody creating content, let's say, a show like this, an agent's doing their own show and they want to increase visibility. So how do we increase that? What would you recommend that they would do to increase it?
Okay, so first of all, you got to start running ads, right? You've got to pay to play. So for example, no matter what platform you go on, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever else, you can run ads. I specialize in Facebook. I personally believe out of all the platforms that I have tried, and we have taken, numerous classes. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on my training and education. Facebook is the best place for agents to go. And the reason being is because of the demographic that's on Facebook are more likely to purchase and buy. They have, its algorithm knows more about the consumer than we ever can know. And Facebook's objective when you're paying them through the ads manager account is to put your content in front of the right people who are going to take action. But there's another thing to think about, right? So you want to start paying for ads. You want to start exposing yourself. People will say, well, I should just boost. It's like, no, boosting is not enough. And here's why. Because when you properly distribute content, the idea is to take somebody from a cold lead to a warm lead to a hot lead and to bring them up your customer acquisition process. Now, what I mean by that? What I mean by that is this. Let's just take a first-time buyer, for example. So let's just say there's a buyer that has the ability to purchase a home, but has no idea that they can actually purchase, meaning they've got lower credit, they don't have a lot of money, they don't think they can purchase, right? They think that with a 650 credit score, you can't purchase a home, and they think they need $30,000 down. Until somebody tells them, hey, do you know that you can purchase a home right now for 3% down? And even if with the credit score of 650, you can qualify to buy a home, and we have loan programs to help you. Or if you're a veteran, there's programs with no money down. If a veteran or a first-time buyer doesn't know that is even possible, they have a problem that they don't even know that they have, right? So now that's a cold lead. They have a problem they don't know that they have. My job, your job, Jared, every agent's job out there is to explain to our consumer, our clients, what it is that we can do for them, right? So now that's a cold lead. My idea is to get that cold lead to understand, hey, there's a problem they have that there's a solution to, right? Now that's cold. Now that moves them into being a warm lead. Warm leads being they know they have a problem, they know there's a solution, and they want to learn more about that solution. They're warm to it, but they don't really know about you yet. Okay, your job is to take that person that knows they have a problem, that knows there's a solution, and move them into being a hot lead. Meaning they know they have a problem, they know that they have a solution, and they know that you can solve that problem, and even better yet, that you're the best solution to that problem. If people don't see you and you're not exposed to them, they're never going to know that. So we need to bring people from one phase to the next. And we have to make sure that we're giving them the right content at the right time. So in other words, most agents do this. Oh, it's a great time to sell. Rates are low. Well, great. But again, the person that was cold didn't even know that they could even do anything. My messaging for somebody that doesn't know is going to be completely different than someone that does know, right? Also, what if I have an experienced buyer that is also a seller and wants to move up? My messaging is going to be completely different to a seller that has a home that is going to sell and then buy. Does that make sense? So many agents are blanket marketing. They're just putting the same messaging out there to every single person, and then they're exposing it to people that aren't even seeing it. The only people that are seeing it are their friends and family. So the goal is to start creating content on a consistent basis, putting the right content in front of the right people at the right time, sending them up the customer acquisition process, and then continuing to market to them to get them to continue to know you, to like you, to trust you, to see you as the authority figure, right? So that you then can help and work with them, so that then they see you as the expert. And again, this can be done. You can do this if you're a brand new agent, if you've never sold a house before, if you're a mediocre agent, you want to like double what you're doing, or if you're an experienced agent that is sick and tired of, you want to kind of get to that next level. There is no better way to do it than to produce content on a consistent basis. If you can do this and get exposed in front of the masses, you will close more deals.
Yeah. So okay. So now we're an agent. We know we've got to get content out there and address the right consumer with the right information. Agents go, I just don't have a budget to spend on this. Like, I don't have that much money. How much money do they have to invest in this in order for them to get out there in front of people?
Okay, so it's just like anything else, right? One of my coaches always tells me, Krista, he who markets the most will win, right? So many agents, and I love you. I've dealt with so many of you. I love you, love you, love you, but you get paid more than pretty much any profession out there. When I was a full-time real estate agent, I, 1 year grossed $1.8 million, right? I mean, I used to be a foster kid. I was in a group home. I was in juvenile hall, making $1.8 million, right? I made more money than any doctor, attorney, lawyer that I knew, okay? The only people that make more money than that are people that, just being a real estate agent. But I had to invest in my education. I had to invest in my marketing. I had to invest in marketing my clients' homes to get them the massive exposure and to do things differently. It doesn't make sense that we can make the kind of money that we do without thinking that we have to make some kind of investment. Period. You do. So you don't have to, but that you can keep doing what you're doing that's not working. You can try to, and I love you. Don't get me wrong. Like I love agents, but I just wish they would understand, like, if you want to get to that next level, right, there has to be some kind of investment. Now, I'm not talking about, like, I can show people how to spend $200 and get 500 hours of watch time. Like 500 hours. I could show you right now 5 examples that I just have on my desktop of videos that we produce that just get massive watch time, not just for me, but for other people, right? Now think about, Jared, how powerful that would be to have somebody seeing you over and over and over and over again, right? Why does McDonald's market at the Super Bowl? They do it because they know it works. They know they're spending, 100 times more than a normal commercial. They do it because all eyes are on deck, and they know that getting eyes on them will get people to want to take action and go buy a cheeseburger, okay? The more that people see you, the more that they're reminded of who you are. You're going to get referrals more. Your past clients and customers are going to come back to you more. You're going to retain them as customers. People that don't know you are going to refer you, and you are going to start getting busy. So I can't tell you exactly what to spend, but you can spend, around $2,000 is like a super magic number, But if you could say I'll spend $500 a month, you could see some really, really impressive numbers there, right? But once you start spending a little bit more money, and again, one of my coaches told me this, it's like if you spend $10, you're going to get 1%. But when you spend, $50, you're going to get 20%, right? Now, from 50 to 100, I'm going to get 40%. The more that you spend, it starts to gradually give you much more massive results because of the momentum of the marketing that you're doing. So it's just a matter of how quickly you want to see results, and pretty much how quickly you want to see results, right? Basically.
Yeah, I always tell agents, like, I used to spend, I think, $1,200 a month on a billboard on the highway, and I think it was $600 in homes and land. And, I would get, like, let's be honest, I would get very little visibility for that. If they spent that much money in like a social media platform like Facebook, they're getting in front of not just, a couple hundred people, but thousands of people, right? And so thousands, right?
And,
Like
and then as you start to get more skilled, you can start targeting people, and you can start retargeting people, and you can create lookalike audiences. And that's where all the secret sauce comes in, is when I can give somebody, some content. So let me give you an example. Many agents make a mistake and they'll say, download my form, or I don't know why nobody wants to, get a market analysis or whatever it might be, because they go straight for like to hop into bed, so to speak, so, like to use an analogy. So when you meet somebody at a party or at a restaurant, or, and you like them, you think they're super cute, you don't just go, let's go, jump in bed. No, you start dating them, and you court them, and you text message, and then you email, and then you FaceTime, and then you have lunch, and you hold hands, and you kiss, and then you get engaged, and then you get married, and then you go to bed, right? It's not go straight for the gold. Some people, it might be, but that's not usually how it is. My point is, most marketers, they go straight for the gold. But you have got to start getting people, breaking down their barriers, letting them feel more comfortable, trusting you, seeing that you are an authority figure, giving them a reason to want to start watching. So if you start creating content, let's just say we're going after sellers, okay? Which right now everybody wants sellers because there's no inventory, and houses are flying off the shelves, and there's 15,000 offers on every listing. So if you want to go after sellers, you start creating content specifically geared towards sellers. I then can see how much watch time people are watching. So if somebody watched, let's say 75% or more of my video, or the whole thing, I know that they're very interested in selling, or they probably wouldn't be watching a 1 minute video on selling. They would just watch a few seconds. So then I could target more information. I could then show them more information about selling and why it's a good time. And then I could send them testimonials of selling. Then I could send them marketing examples, all on Facebook, specifically targeting them, everything on selling on a very strategic manner. And then at the end, I asked them if they'd like a market analysis. After I've already given them information, I've already established myself as the expert, I've already showed them testimonials, I've already given them as much information as possible, I've warmed them up, they know me, and now I'm going to see if they'd like a market analysis. Then I follow that up with a video explanation of the market analysis. I actually do a video like we're doing right now on Zoom. I record a video, I share my screen, I show them the and by the way, we do all this that I'm saying. We then show them the market analysis. We then break it down. We say their name, and then we email it over to them. Then I follow it up with sending that market analysis on their porch, right? Then I do a bomb video saying, oh, did you get the thing? Then I send them a copy of a book, What to Expect When Selling Your East County Home, right? I mean, that's how you take a buyer from cold to hot and then actually convert it, right? Most people just do a blanket marketing. Hey, it's a great time to sell to the whole entire world. They don't have any idea about niching or really honing in on who their client avatar is or their messaging. And then they stop there. They don't see results right away, so they quit, and they're not consistent. But if they were to keep going, target the right people, put the right information in front of them at the right time, and then really, really follow up with being different than everyone else, they will start to see massive results in their business. And I mean, we've done this, hundreds of times. So it's not just maybe, it's a 100% fact that it will happen.
Interesting. Yeah, no, absolutely. Talk to me about this. When we're targeting audiences, what should we be, if we have one video, should we be just sending and creating one ad on that? Should we be targeting? Should we be doing multiple different ads and testing? Talk to me about would you test different markets and then spend more money at where you're getting results? What would you do?
Okay, so basically how I teach people from scratch is to first start using the reach objective. So when you use the reach objective on the Ads Manager account on Facebook, you're reaching everyone. So everyone is seeing you, right? Okay. And so you're basically developing brand awareness. You're reaching the masses. But then you want to take that and you want to start using different types of objectives on Facebook, like the video views objective. Video views being Facebook's algorithm is going to put your video in front of people that are more likely to watch a video, okay? And then based upon what they're watching, what they're interested in, is going to determine what I'm going to do next. It's not just a one size fits all. It's basically based upon what actions people are taking and then taking another action, right? But you constantly want to go back to the reach objective, back to the video views objective, and then later on you can use the conversion method or the traffic method objective, right? Depending on what your motive is. So I always tell people, well, I can't really tell you what ad you want to run until I know where your buyer is at in the process, what action you want them to take, and what is the alternative that you're looking for. What's your end result? Because depending, your end result has a huge factor because it's going to depend on what I'm going to start with, right? And I'm not going to give every single person the same thing all the time. But I do have to remember that I never know initially when people are like, are they ready to make a decision? Are they ready to convert? Are they comparing or contrasting? Are they cold and have no idea, that I can even help them? Like, depending on where they are is going to depend upon what you're going to do. So having multiple ads running, multiple objectives running is important, and targeting and retargeting based upon what their previous action was is also very important.
Give me an example.
Yes.
Okay, give me an example of actions. When you say actions that they take, what are some of the actions that they would take?
So for example, if I run a video and I use the reach objective, and like certain audiences aren't doing anything, right? But certain audiences are. So the audiences that are actually watching a certain video, then I'm going to know that with that audience, I'm going to retarget the people that watched it, and I'm going to show them another video that's similar to that one. Okay. And then if they watch that, I'm going to send them something similar that has to do with what I want them to do at the end. Okay. Meanwhile, I'm still going to be sending reach ads out, or video views, objective ads out to the ones that didn't do anything because maybe they're just not ready yet. Maybe they're not warmed up enough yet, right? Maybe they're not. Does that make sense? So you're going to, depending on what you do, depends upon where they are at. And this is something that can be learned. It's so hot in here right now. Oh my gosh. It's something that can be learned. And
it's just that you're hyped up about this.
I know. I get excited about it. But so many people they're so afraid of technology. But we have to embrace technology, right? I mean, they think about ads and technologies and using video, and they just get so afraid. And you're great on video, Jared. I've watched you. You're so comfortable. You're engaging. You know what to say. But if you ask 100 people, 98 of them are freaked out like crazy. And I bet you were not always comfortable, right? Were you?
No. Matter of fact, I almost got divorced this week because I forced my wife to teach a class online, and she is amazing operationally. She does not like getting in front of people, and it was not a great place in my household this week because of that.
Oh my God, I bet. But that's what most people are. They're fearful, right? They're so afraid of doing it. So, but you can learn it, and it makes massive impact on your business. And we don't want to be like Amazon. We want to be like Amazon. We want to be like Amazon. We don't want to be like, the 8,000 retailers that put out of business. Yeah. We don't want to be Blockbuster, who got, wiped out, a $6 billion company by Netflix because they didn't adapt, right? So now it's a matter of, it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, you can learn anything, but being consistent is also very, very important. And many people don't see results immediately, so they stop. Or they get busy and they stop doing the results, right? They stop doing what got them busy in the first place. What I tell people is that when you properly distribute content consistently, your content is doing more selling for you than ever before. For example, there's a reason why, Jared, you do these videos. Why do you do them?
Yes. Well, I do them to create a brand for myself. So I used to own a brokerage. I don't own the brokerage anymore. And so my coach, Tom, most people that watch these know that he's my coach, been my coach for years. He was like, listen, you need to create a brand for yourself. Like, what, from a coaching perspective, what do? You need to create visibility, because just like many agents, I was a secret coach, right? Like, I coached, I had lots of clients, but unless you coached with me, you didn't necessarily know who I was. So he was like, now that you're kind of out of that world, you need to create a brand. So I do these videos to help create that brand and get exposure.
Yes.
Simple as that.
Exactly. Same with me, right? So 3 years ago, I wasn't a coach, and we took my coaching company from 0 to $7.4 million in 25 months. Doing
nice. Good for you.
Exactly this.
Yep.
This exact strategy, same exact strategy I use in real estate, right?
Yep.
It's what helped me get myself out there. And because I know that getting a video to be seen organically is like less than 0.01% possible, because there's millions and millions of hours of content put on the market, put on the web every single day. So in order for me to be exposed, I have to pay. I've got to target people. I've got to retarget people. And what you'll start seeing is that when you start targeting people and you're showing up where they're looking, which is online, they start saying all of a sudden, man, I see you everywhere. And then they start to assume that you're doing a lot of business. That's why this works for a brand new agent or it really does, because they don't have to be having a lot of houses to sell or whatever else. Now, then when you take this exact same skill, right, and you market your properties online, so you take your properties that you're selling online, you expose them to the masses, then you can go on a listing appointment. You can say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, the reason why you hire me is because I'm not sure if you know this, but 67% of buyers will walk through a home that they see online, right? I mean, 67% of buyers that see a home are going to walk through it according to the National Association of Realtors. And 93% of buyers start their home search online. Well, let me show you an example of 15 of the past houses that I've sold. They range anywhere from 120,000 views to 170,000 views, and they average right around about 300 to 350 hours of watch time. Some are more. Here's one that's 555 hours. Here's one that's only 357 hours. But my point being is that that's massive exposure. If you compare that to my competitors who are getting 30 or 40 views, you can see how it's a little bit different, right? Then you have a whole presentation all about the online digital marketing aspect of what makes you different. Now, not only are you exposing yourself to the masses, but you're also exposing your properties to the masses, so you're making your seller happy. And then the entire community is seeing how you're marketing, and they're like, man, I want that to be like me when I sell my house. So it just works for you in so many different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and again, you can create it. I was having dinner with Gary Vandertruck, and I was talking to him about, and again, master at this, and I was talking to him about, what he's done in creating his whole brand. And he said, here's the cool part, Jared. I created the online version of Gary Vandertruck, and I built the person that he has become online. And he said, you can become whoever you want online as long as you're consistent and constant at what you're putting out, and then that brand and those messages are all aligned. He said, and then you can become whoever you want as long as you're doing it a lot over time. He said, and the more you do it, because I said to him, how often should someone post online? He's like, well, I do it 8 to 10 times, a day. He said, because I want to constantly be in front of people so people know who I am. And you look at him, and he's built himself up to be a mega superstar.
Yeah.
Pretty much from social media, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the number one type of television shows that people watch is online reality TV shows, like reality TV shows.
Yep. People
are interested. They want to know, right? And when you create content, there's something called a parasocial relationship, which means that somebody is developing a relationship with you on their own. Like it's a one-sided relationship with you. They start to kind of know you, and they start to like you, and they cheer for you, and they're happy for you, and they're sad for you, but you don't know them, but they feel like they know you. Our brains have been wired like that because of the television. We think that somebody on the other side of the television screen, or the phone or the video, is somebody of importance, and then we start to develop a relationship with them. So it's all about relationship building. It's about knowing who your audience is. It's about knowing your own brand. The more that you know your own brand and your audience, the more that you can really start to develop a relationship with them and put the right content in front of them. You can solve their problems. You can help with their pains. You can really be that person that's there to support them. And the more you can do that, the more likely that your messaging is going to speak to them directly, which is going to make them want to convert. And this is why having a niche is so important. Like you could have multiple niches where you are just creating tons of content around that niche and then targeting people, because if you're just your one blanket message, nobody listens. But if you're a first-time buyer, you're a move-up seller, or you're you want to buy in a certain community, or you want to, your FHA or whatever it might be, your rural property or waterfront home properties. If you're looking to sell or buy and you hear waterfront properties, if somebody specializes in that, you're listening, right? If you're a VA, a vet, and you know that there's programs out there, you're listening. So when you have multiple niches and you start producing content and directly getting it out there and distributing it correctly, you start getting higher search engine optimization. So now what happens is that you show up first page on Google, right? Google owns YouTube. So now you're showing up on YouTube. I mean, you put it on your website. Your website's aligned again with Google. You get higher ranking. I mean, it's just so many things that content can do. So even if you just do it organically, it'll help. But if you can put some money behind it, you're just going to fast track your results, like times thousands.
100%. All right. So I won't keep you too much longer. I'm going to ask you one more question about filling people's pipelines. Like, let's be honest, our long-term goal in marketing online as a real estate agent is to drive, people to us that want to buy or sell a home. So how do you specifically get leads into a system? Like, I know like there's the branding side of it, and I preach, you know, you got to get in front of people from a visibility perspective, get them comfortable with you, be authentic, so they build trust. Once they trust you, they feel they can reach out to you. Once they reach out to you, you're good. But outside of like that branding, creating visibility perspective, is there anything that people can do to like drive leads directly to them?
Yeah, so specifically, the more that, again, I'm going to go back to consistently creating content correctly, right? And making a connection.
Yeah.
The more that you can make a connection by adding value, by serving and not just selling, right? So for example, my book, if you go to getkristasbook.com, you can learn how to get a free copy of my book, right? Or it's digital copy, whatever it might be. But we're always giving away free content, right? It's part of how we built our businesses. But remember, I'm not just saying download my free book. I'm targeting people and giving them a reason to want to click to even get that piece of content, right? So instead of just running an ad and asking somebody to fill something out or download a form or give you their contact information, you have to date them first. You've got to position yourself as the authority figure, so they're going to want to give you their information. It's just like we talked about wanting to get home evaluations for people. Most people will run an ad, what's my home worth, right? But nobody's clicking because they don't know who you are. Why should they trust you? Why are you the authority? Why should they give you their information? But when you can target people, give them information and value and serve them based upon what they're interested in need, and then you ask them to, you know, to fill out a form, that's where the secret sauce comes from. Now, that's how you fill your pipeline. Buyers and sellers don't take action right away. So what do we have to do? We have to keep showing up where they are over and over and over. Keep on offering them value, and then ask them to go to a seller seminar online, right? Ask them to go to a buyer seminar online. Have a networking, a business marketing network event online, right? Have a real estate town hall, live question and answer online. So many things that you can do online. And then you can follow it up with some of the older type of school, techniques kind of a thing where you send out a postcard or whatever it might be with obviously something of value on the back of it. I call it digital location domination, where you combine old school techniques with 21st century type of techniques, right? I mean, you don't understand. Your content is filling your pipeline and doing more selling for you than anything else ever will. And it's doing it while you are sleeping, while you're on vacation, while you're not working. That's the only thing that can do that is content. The minute that you stop calling or door knocking or cold calling or doing open houses is the minute that you stop money doesn't come in. It's the minute you stop being exposed, right? So you can continue to do an open house, even though right now we can't. But if we were allowed to, and you could expose yourself to 10 people, well, I'd much rather, create a video, spend $200 and get 500 hours of watch time and reach 150,000 people. And I do that over and over and over again. So I personally spend anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 a month on Facebook ads. But I mean, I average 150, 160 homes a year that I sell, and so it's absolutely worth it. And I can't say, I got this lead specifically from Facebook. It's not about that. I know that I'm getting repeat clients, referral clients. I'm retaining more clients, reaching new clients because I'm exposing myself constantly as the go-to authority. Remember? Yeah. To be known, you got to be seen, you got to be heard.
Yeah, and driving them to a funnel, right? And so you're driving them to a place where you're just funneling stuff in and all of that. That's awesome. Krista, I really, really appreciate your time today. Where can people go to get your book? On StreamYard, I had it all there, and it was all going to be scrolling across the screen. Here cute. I can't, but
it's okay. You're so cute. It's called the Ultimate Digital Marketing Playbook. It's right here. So the Ultimate Digital Marketing Playbook for dominating your local profession. It says, take the guesswork out of digital marketing, maximize your profits, and become the authority in your profession or business. You can go to getkristasbook.com, getkristasbook.com, and you can get a copy of it. We've got audio copies, we've got digital copies. I also wrote the book Sell 100 Homes. That's specifically to real estate. Both will absolutely help you. They're written easy. I hope I didn't talk too much or too long, Jared. I feel like I was just doing a lot of talking, so I'm sorry.
No, you did awesome. I appreciate that. I mean, it's about giving people information. I coach all day long. You know, I've done thousands of coaching calls, so I try and bring content that I think is relevant right now to help people move forward. And you know, I mean, again, I've seen you online, and you practice what you preach, because I've done my research, and my name is in your database now, and you drove me through your funnel and all that sort of, like, so you practice what you preach, right? So, you know, when I looked at that, I'm like, I want to talk to Krista about this, because I think it's really, I know she's got a lot of information that could be really helpful for agents, coming from somebody who knows what she's talking about. So listen, I really sorry for the technical difficulties earlier today. My fault, but listen, there's a way through. We found a way through. We still made it happen, and that's all that matters.
Yes, I appreciate you. I appreciate reaching out, and I love what you're doing. Keep on doing it. Everyone, just keep listening and keep implementing, because if you don't implement, nothing happens.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. All right, guys, I hope you guys took great notes on that, and that you guys are really considering in 2021 how to dominate your market through digital marketing. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us here on Mindset, Motivation, and Mastery. I think I'm done.
Yep. You're still recording. You want to still record?